All right, folks, you ready to talk tattoos?
I am always.
Today, we're diving deep into what makes a tattoo truly perfect. And that's a pretty loaded word.
Well, absolutely.
We've got a whole mix of sources for this one. A YouTube tutorial from this amazing pro.
Ooh, nice.
We've got a Reddit thread where apprentice artists are basically spilling all the secrets.
I love that.
And just a really comprehensive guide to the whole tattoo process.
Nice.
So are you ready to, basically get inked with knowledge?
Let's do it. This is going to be fascinating because perfect in this context, I mean, it goes way beyond just like a cool design, right?
Yeah.
We're talking technical skills, prep work, the whole artist-client dynamic. It's it's a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. And one thing that really jumped out at me from reading all of these sources was just how much emphasis they put on what happens before the needle even touches the skin.
Oh, for sure.
It's not just like show up and get zapped, is it?
No. The client consultation, that's really where this whole quest for perfect begins. Okay, think about it. Understanding the client's vision, their style, even their anatomy. That's crucial to making sure the design is going to work beautifully on their body.
And I was watching that YouTube video and he even joked about getting halfway through a tattoo and realizing, the dragon's facing the wrong way.
Oh, no.
Stencil placement.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Absolutely. It's like the foundation of a house. And then there's, you got to collaborate on the design itself. Like, what elements does the client want? The style they're going for?
Yeah.
And how does the artist, bring their own expertise to the table to create something unique for them?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so once we're past that crucial planning stage.
Right.
The YouTube artist was all about the line work.
Yeah.
He called it the foundation of a good tattoo.
Huh.
And his demo, mesmerizing. I was glued to the screen.
I bet.
What really surprised me was, how those apprentice artists on Reddit are practicing.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
They're, filling notebooks with lines, tracing mandalas. Mm-hmm. They even talk about breath control techniques.
It's really interesting, right? There's this connection between physical practice and then the mental focus that you need for tattooing.
Yeah.
It's about developing that steady hand, that smooth, consistent pressure,
right.
Almost like a surgeon.
Oh, wow.
So all those seemingly simple exercises are actually building some incredibly important skills.
Yeah. And I love this one little quirk. The YouTube artist, he actually recommended not using a ruler for practice. He said it forces you to really develop that muscle memory for smooth, freehand lines.
Yeah. It's like learning to ride a bike without training wheels, right?
Yeah.
You're building those core skills that'll serve you no matter what design you're tackling.
Okay. So we've got the perfect stencil, the killer line work.
Uh-huh.
What about shading?
Yeah, shading.
I mean, this guy made it look so effortless, but I imagine it takes some serious skill to master all those different techniques.
Oh, yeah.
There was whip shading, pendulum shading.
It's
like a whole other language.
It is. It is a whole other language. And it's a language that you have to tailor to each individual client, right?
Yeah.
The guide was bringing up a point that I hadn't really considered before. The importance of understanding skin tone.
Oh, okay.
How does the client's natural color actually impact those pigment choices and the way you apply the ink?
Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So what might look like a beautiful gradient on one person could end up looking completely different on someone else.
Exactly.
Wow. And the guide recommended practicing on different skin types to really get those nuances down.
It's like a chef learning to adjust recipes based on the quality of their ingredients,
Yeah.
You can have all the technical skill in the world, but if you don't understand how those pigments are going to interact with the canvas, so to speak, the end result might not be the same.
So having that deep knowledge of skin and how it interacts with ink, that's a key part of this whole perfect tattoo equation.
Absolutely. And this is where the artist-client relationship, it really becomes even more crucial, I think.
Yeah.
A good artist isn't just technically skilled, they're a communicator, right?
Yeah.
They're educating the client on what to expect, how their skin might react, and how to best care for the tattoo afterwards.
So it's a real partnership.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides are working together to create something beautiful and lasting.
Exactly. Yeah. And that brings us to a theme that was it was consistently emphasized in all of our sources. perfect tattoos, they're about so much more than just technical skill.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, the guide went deep on pain management, aftercare instructions, even the artist's own health and hand strength.
Yeah.
I never even thought of, like, hand exercises being part of the job description.
But it makes sense, though, right? I mean, tattooing, it is incredibly intricate work. It requires stamina and precision. So taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally, it's essential. It's about respecting the art form and honoring the client's trust.
Okay, so before we move on, let's pause here for a second and just think about what all of this means for someone out there who's maybe considering getting a tattoo.
Right.
I mean, choosing your artist, that's clearly a huge decision.
Oh, it's paramount. I mean, you're not just picking someone to draw on you. You're choosing someone to collaborate with on a piece of art that's going to be with you for life. So you got to do your research, look at portfolios, read reviews.
Yeah.
And most importantly, have that initial consultation. Make sure you connect with the artist and that they truly understand your vision.
Right. Like you and the artist.
Yeah.
You got to be on the same page.
Yeah, got to have that connection for sure.
All right. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to dive even deeper into the world of perfect tattoos. Okay. So we talked about all the technical stuff like the line work, the shading, the importance of that artist-client connection.
Right, right.
But what about the artistry itself?
Yeah.
Like we keep throwing around this word perfect, but it's so subjective, right? What one person loves, another person might be like, ooh, not for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so interesting. I mean, it's not just about like technical execution. It's about personal taste, the meaning behind the tattoo and how it makes the client feel. It's about capturing their story in ink.
And I was reading through that Reddit thread. There were so many different styles that those apprentice artists were talking about. Some people love like the bold traditional look. Others are more into delicate, intricate designs.
It's amazing, all the variation, right? And even within those styles, there's so much, like, think about line weights, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Some artists use a single consistent line throughout the whole thing, while others play with thicker and thinner lines to create different effects.
It's like they're sculpting with lines, giving the tattoo that dimension and depth.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I remember one apprentice on Reddit was asking about when to use thicker lines.
Yeah.
And the advice they got was so interesting.
I bet. What'd they say?
So one artist said to like really focus on the areas you want to emphasize.
Okay.
And then another one suggested using thicker lines to create like contrast and visual interest.
It's like composing a visual symphony where each element plays a specific role.
Yeah, totally. And then there's like color, placement on the body.
Right.
It all adds to the story the tattoo tells.
For sure.
So a tattoo can be like technically flawless, but if it doesn't resonate with the client on a personal level, is it truly perfect?
Ooh, that's the million-dollar question. And it really gets to the heart of why tattooing is such a powerful art form.
Yeah.
It's this beautiful fusion of technical skill, artistic vision, and deeply personal expression.
Oh, I like that. And speaking of expression, I was struck by how much the guide emphasized the importance of the artist's own style and creativity.
Yeah, absolutely.
They even talked about like pushing boundaries and continuous learning. Like those are essential for growth.
Right. A tattoo artist who isn't constantly evolving is like a musician who's only playing the same song over and over again.
Yeah.
Tattooing is a living, breathing art form. New techniques and styles are constantly emerging.
Right.
A truly great artist is always pushing the boundaries of what's possible, experimenting, finding new ways to express themselves.
So then that brings us to something I find really fascinating, which is like the evolution of tattooing as a cultural phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. Huge changes.
I mean, perceptions have changed drastically. Even in recent years, tattoos used to be seen as like rebellious, even taboo. And now it's like they're widely accepted as this form of self-expression in art.
It's incredible to think about. I mean, even the guide mentioned that. Like, a majority of millennials now have at least one tattoo.
Seriously.
It's gone mainstream.
Wow.
And that's opened up a whole new world of possibilities for both artists and clients.
So it's like this art form that's constantly being redefined and embraced by new generations. I wonder, like, if this shift in perception has, like, fueled the creative explosion that we're seeing in the tattoo world.
It's definitely a possibility. I mean, as more people embrace tattooing, it creates a demand for new styles, new techniques, fresh perspectives. It's like this ripple effect where acceptance breeds creativity, which in turn leads to even more stunning and unique tattoos.
So where does all this leave us? We've explored the technical mastery, the artistic vision, that client-artist relationship, the evolving landscape of tattoo culture. But, is there a definitive answer to what makes a tattoo perfect?
I think the beauty of it is that there isn't one. It's a journey. It's a collaboration, a constantly evolving art form. In the end, the perfect tattoo is the one that speaks to the client's soul, tells their story, and makes them feel empowered and comfortable in their own skin.
Oh, I love that. So for those out there who are ready to take the plunge, get their first tattoo, where do they begin?
Well, as we've been talking about throughout this whole deep dive, choosing the right artist is it's paramount. It's an investment, not just financially, but in terms of your body and your self-expression.
So no impulse decisions. Take your time.
No.
Do your research. Make sure you find an artist who truly gets your vision.
Exactly. Look at portfolios online, visit studios, and most importantly, schedule consultations with artists whose work resonates with you.
Okay.
And pay attention to how the artist interacts with you during those consultations.
Yeah.
Do they listen to your ideas? Do they ask questions to really understand your vision?
They make you feel comfortable and confident in their abilities.
Yeah, because let's face it, getting a tattoo, especially for the first time, it can be a little nerve-wracking.
Absolutely.
A good artist will guide you through the process, answer your questions honestly, and offer advice on placement, design, and even aftercare.
Aftercare.
Yes.
Speaking of which.
Right. Both our YouTube artist and the guide, they were super adamant about its importance.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting a beautiful tattoo. It's about taking care of it so it stays that way for years to come.
You can't be stressed enough. And aftercare is not one size fits all either, right?
No. Each tattoo is unique.
Yeah.
And your artist will provide specific instructions based on the size, the placement, and the style. Things like keeping it clean, moisturizing with unscented lotion, avoiding sun exposure.
Right.
All of that plays a vital role in how well your tattoo heals and how vibrant the colors stay.
It's like tending a garden. You've put in all this work to create something beautiful, but you need to nurture it to make sure it thrives.
Absolutely.
And if you have any questions or concerns during the healing process, don't hesitate to reach out to your artist.
Absolutely. Reach out to your artist.
They want to see their work looking its best just as much as you do.
Yeah. It's that ongoing partnership again. It's about shared responsibility and ensuring that tattoo stays a source of pride and joy for years to come.
Okay, so we found our artist, we got the tattoo, we're diligently following those aftercare instructions.
Oh, right.
Anything else we should keep in mind to make sure, our ink masterpiece stands the test of time?
There are definitely some lifestyle factors that can affect how your tattoo ages.
Okay.
Things like sun exposure, smoking, even drastic weight fluctuations. They can all impact the clarity and vibrancy of your tattoo over time.
So sunscreen is a tattoo's best friend.
Oh, absolutely. And if you do notice, any fading or blurring over the years, don't fret. Most artists offer touch-up sessions to revitalize your tattoo and bring back its original brilliance.
It's like a little spa day for your ink.
Exactly.
Okay, folks, I think we've officially covered the A to Z of perfect tattoos.
I think so, yeah. We've journeyed from the initial spark of an idea to the intricate dance of the needle, and finally to the long-term care that makes sure your tattoo remains a source of pride and personal expression.
We delved into the technical skills, the artistic vision, the importance of that client-artist connection.
Yeah.
And even the ever-evolving landscape of tattoo culture itself.
A lot to cover, but I think we got it.
I think we nailed it.
And hopefully we left you feeling inspired, informed, and maybe a little bit braver to embark on your own tattoo journey.
So if you're considering getting inked, remember this. Do your research. Find an artist who speaks to your soul.
Right.
And take care of that beautiful piece of art you now carry with you.
Because a well-crafted tattoo, it's more than just ink on skin.
Yeah.
It's a story, a statement, a reflection of your unique journey through life.
I love that. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of perfect tattoos.
Great job.
Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep diving deep. Okay, we're back, ready to wrap up our tattoo deep dive.
I'm excited to bring it all together.
Me too. We've covered so much ground.
We have.
The artistry, the technical skills, that whole evolving cultural landscape.
Right.
But before we officially sign off, I think we need to circle back to something we were talking about earlier, which is the fact that, what makes a tattoo perfect is ultimately subjective.
It really is. I mean, there's no one-size-fits-all answer, is there?
Not at all. So let's say, someone's out there listening.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, okay, I'm convinced I'm ready for my first tattoo.
I love it.
What advice would you give them?
Well, first and foremost, I'd echo what we've been saying all along. Choosing the right artist is it's paramount.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding someone who can technically execute the design. It's about finding someone who understands your vision, your style, and who you feel comfortable collaborating with.
Almost like finding the right therapist in a way.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
You need to trust them, feel heard, know they have your best interests at heart.
Exactly. And just like you wouldn't choose a therapist based solely on their proximity to your house.
Right.
You shouldn't choose a tattoo artist based solely on convenience or price.
Right. This is something that's going to be with you for life. So it's worth taking the time to really do your research. And our guide had some great tips for this whole process, didn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Looking at artists' online portfolios, that's a great starting point, but don't stop there.
Right.
Visit studios in person, get a feel for the vibe of the place, and most importantly, schedule consultations with artists whose work really speaks to you.
Yeah. And during those consultations, pay attention not just to what they say, but how they make you feel.
Oh, that's so important.
Do they listen to your ideas? Do they ask thoughtful questions to really understand what you're going for?
Right. And do they make you feel comfortable and confident in their ability to bring your vision to life? Because let's be honest, getting a tattoo, especially for the first time, it can be,
nerve-wracking.
A little nerve-wracking, exactly.
Totally. And speaking of first-timers, one thing that came up repeatedly in all of our sources was the importance of aftercare.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's not just about getting a beautiful tattoo. It's about making sure it stays that way for years to come.
Couldn't agree more. Our YouTube artist was practically preaching the gospel of aftercare.
He was.
And for good reason. I mean, a well-cared-for tattoo will heal properly, the colors will stay vibrant, the lines remain crisp. It's...
Right. And aftercare is not one size fits all either.
No, definitely not.
Our guide emphasized, every tattoo is unique.
Yeah.
And the artist will give you specific instructions based on the size, the placement, and the style.
Absolutely. Things like keeping it clean, moisturizing with unscented lotion, avoiding sun exposure.
Yeah.
Those are all crucial. And if you have any questions or concerns during the healing process, please don't hesitate to reach out to your artist.
They're your partner in this, after all. It's
right.
Like a plant, right?
Yeah.
You carefully choose it, you plant it in the right spot, but then you still need to water it.
Yeah.
Give it the right conditions to thrive.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, so we've talked about finding the right artist, getting the tattoo, taking care of it afterward. What about the long game? Are there things that we can do to make sure our tattoos age gracefully?
That's a great question. Our sources touched on this a little bit. Things like sun exposure, smoking, even drastic weight fluctuations can all affect how a tattoo looks over time.
Oh, so sun damage is a major culprit when it comes to fading and blurring.
Absolutely. So sunscreen is a must, not just for protecting your skin, but for preserving your ink as well.
Okay, good to know. And then even if we do everything right and our tattoos start to show their age a little bit, there's always the option of touch-ups, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Most artists offer touch-up sessions to revitalize tattoos, sharpen lines, and bring back those vibrant colors.
So it's like a little refresh for your artwork.
Exactly.
So even though tattoos are permanent, they're not entirely static. We can take steps to keep them looking their best and even enhance them over time.
I love that way of thinking about it. It's not just about accepting the inevitable fading. It's about taking an active role in preserving something that's meaningful to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we did it. We officially unpacked the art, the science, the culture, and the personal journey that is tattooing. What a deep dive it's been.
It has been fascinating. And hopefully, our listeners are walking away with a deeper appreciation for the skill, the artistry, and the deeply personal nature of this incredible art form.
Absolutely. So to everyone out there considering their first tattoo or adding to their existing collection, remember, do your research. Find an artist who speaks to your soul and take care of that beautiful piece of art you now carry with you.
Because a well-crafted tattoo, it's more than just ink on skin.
It is.
It's a story, a statement, and a reflection of your unique journey through life.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the world of perfect tattoos. Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep diving deep